Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a special unboxing for you. Just been to the mall and I got something that I'd like to show you guys. But as usual, if you like my videos, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, or subscribe to my channel. Since the last wedding, I've been having some issues with some of the wide-angle Canon lenses, and the fact that they didn't really adapt well using the Metabones adapter with my Sony A7R2 and the Sony A7 III bodies. And it got me to thinking, look, I'm interested in getting a new camera. Sorry about all the noise, by the way. I'm filming this outside, so you can probably hear trucks and stuff in the background. Anyway, hopefully they'll disappear soon and we can have a little bit more peace and quiet. You might get the odd plane that flies overhead. But anyway, yeah, so what I was saying is that over the last week or two, I've just been considering, since I had some issues with adapting the Sony professional bodies with my wide-angle Canon lenses using the Metabones adapter, I thought about what would be an appropriate solution for future weddings, and I got me to thinking, well, I need a new vlogging camera anyway. I wanted something that shot 4K and also had a screen which allowed me to see myself. And all the cameras that I've got currently that I've been using to vlog, except for this DJI Osmo Pocket that I'm using to film this video, is that none of them have a screen that allows me to look at myself when I vlog, and I don't really know how to compose the back because I just can't see my head in the picture. So I did some research and I thought, well, I could kind of kill two birds with one stone. I could get a new camera body that allows me to use the Sony, allows me to continue to shoot with the Sony professional bodies using the native lenses like the 55, the 85 Batis, the G Master, the 70-200 that I have, but also get a more efficient way to use my Canon wider angle lenses, and at the same time have them useful for non-wedding purposes, such as making videos and taking on day trips and going on vacation and stuff like that. So I came up with the possibility of two things. One is the Canon, been really interested in the Canon mirrorless system for a little while, because that fits the perfect bill of being able to use the Canon lenses effectively without too much of an issue, without focusing issues like I've been having. So it basically came down to a choice of two bodies, and that was the Canon EOS R and the Canon EOS RP. What is the difference between the two cameras? Well, the major difference is that the Canon EOS RP is $1,000 cheaper than the EOS R. But with that comes some significant trade-offs, and there were some trade-offs that I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to deal with and especially cope with in the long term. Being a camera that I'm planning to use for videos as well as still photography, I wanted to make sure that it was capable of shooting good quality 4K video. I understand that both of these camera bodies have a 1.7 roughly times crop, so it makes it almost like an APS-C sensor. But the thing that kind of really put me in an uncertain situation was the fact that the Canon EOS RP did not have the dual pixel autofocus when shooting in 4P, and there've been a lot of reports that I've seen online via videos and also in the written word that the EOS RP has trouble focusing when you're shooting 4K. And I certainly didn't want that to be an issue. I wanted it to be something that went seamlessly. The EOS R was clearly spec-wise better than the EOS RP, but however, it's $1,000 more expensive. Now, I just wanted to consider whether it was worthwhile expense-wise that I'd spent the extra $1,000 to get something which probably was going to suit me better and I was going to be happier with the video. In the past, I've gone for the cheaper alternative, and I've lived to regret every single one of those decisions. And that's one of the morals of the story, I guess, is that if you can't afford something, often it's better to save up until you can, rather than get a substitute and get the inferior version which you're not going to be happy with. And a lot of times in the past, I've ended up actually buying the other one anyway. So I've wasted $1,000, $2,000 or whatever it was back then for whatever I was going to get, and I ended up wasting that money because I never liked what I bought and ended up buying the better one at a later date. So I thought, which way should I go? And I came up with a decision, and here's what it is. So I have the Canon EOS R mirrorless camera. So this is the I guess, the more professional camera, but I don't think that either of the bodies at the moment are fully satisfying the professional cinematographer, in that there's been a lot of comments about how this camera has that 1.7 times crop, it's got only one memory card, doesn't have a dual card slot, all that kind of stuff. But it's a quality camera. I've done a lot of research with this, and along with that, I got the Canon EOS R mount. So this allows me to adapt all my current Canon glass onto this camera, because I haven't bought a lens. There are currently, I think, 4 lenses available for this camera, all of which look spectacular. There's like a 51.2, there's a 24-70 f2, which looks amazing. But these lenses are like $3,000 to $4,000 each, and I just don't have the budget for that. So I was really keen to see what I could do without having to purchase an additional lens, and also make use of all the current L glass that I have, rather than let them just sit in the drawer and not achieve anything. So this is the perfect combination for me at this point, I'm hoping. And I just thought I'd just open this box and show you what's inside, and hopefully in a future video I'm going to post some shots and some video about when I use this camera, and hopefully it's as good as I'm hoping that'd be, and it's going to be something that I can use for a long time. So when you have a look at the box, this is actually a really big box, and it's basically got an EOS R there, it's EOS R there, and it says lens not included. And on the back there's not much else interesting, so let's just get right to it. So when you open the box, there's kind of a huge box, and the first thing you get is a USB-C to USB-C cable, and something which is used to secure the cable. I don't know what's called, some sort of cable lock thing. Then there's the battery, which is apparently the same battery as that which is used on my EOS 5D Mark III and the EOS 5D Mark IV. So that's going to be good, because I've got about 5 of these, and that means I don't have to buy any new batteries. The other thing that was abundantly clear, by the way, this is the LP-E6N, is that the EOS RP battery uses the same battery as, I think, the EOS M5, and it only is rated at 250 shots. So this battery is significantly bigger and has more battery life, so that's a positive. There's a charging cable. There's the EOS R manual, which we'll see whether I use that or not. There's the charger, which looks exactly the same as all the other chargers from Canon, so another thing to stick in the drawer. And inside here is the EOS R camera strap. I used to, but I don't use camera straps anymore, and even if I do, I use the detachable Black Rapid, so I doubt I'll ever take this out of the packet. So if anyone wants to buy this, look for a future thing on eBay, and I'll probably sell this at some point. And inside this little package is the camera body. So you can see it's a pretty huge box without very much in it. So I'll put that to one side. And before I unwrap this camera, I will also take out the Canon EF to EOS R mount adapter. Now there are several different versions of this. There's a speed dial one or something, where there's actually dials on the adapter allowing you to alter apparently aperture and shutter speed and stuff. I don't think I'd ever use it. That's about $350, $400. So I definitely wouldn't have bought that one. This one came as part of the bundle, which I managed to get from my local JB Hi-Fi. I don't know that it always comes as a bundle, so you're going to have to try and negotiate and work around that. Warranty card and an instruction book. This bit's in Japanese, but there's stuff here that I probably won't read. And here's the mount, which comes in a nice little pouch. Ooh, so it comes in a little pouch like this. And it's basically just like any other mount. It's like the Metabones mount. It's like the EOS M series camera mount that attaches the EF lenses as well. And basically there's nothing electronic about here, I don't think. It's just a mount which allows you to place your existing Canon glass onto the EOS R body. So I'm just gonna screw that back in and put that away just for a second. And here is the camera. And there he is. Now the first thing that I noticed with this camera is that it feels very comfortable to hold. So it looks just like any other basically Canon DSLR that I've had, the 5D Mark III, the 6D, the whatever 700D or 15D, whatever that we used to have, even back in the old analog days when we were shooting film. It all pretty much looks like that. Now the first thing that's apparent is that there is an LCD screen on the top. There are ports on the side which allows you to have a mic, headphone, HDMI, USB-C connections, and it's got a number of dials. It's got the on-off button on here on the left-hand side of the body. It's got the mode dial, it's got the video recording, it's got the shutter button right here, right there, and it's got, as I said, a mode dial and the usual sort of buttons here. What's interesting, it's got this touch bar thing, which is kind of like the MacBook Pros. There's been a lot of negative reviews on the touch bar, so I'm not going to say anything actually until I've actually tried it out, because I just don't want to do a biased opinion of something that I've never tried. On the back is one of the reasons I got this camera. So this is the LCD screen, and as you can see, it goes like this and it goes like this. So I can now look at myself on the LCD screen and I can actually see myself in the reflection, and this is going to be awesome for when I do vlogs. And the other thing too is that you can tilt it up and you can tilt it down that way, and it allows you to shoot with the camera above your head and the camera at waist level, whilst you still get access to the LCD screen. Now, anyone who says that live view isn't awesome haven't used a mirrorless camera. Compared to the DSLRs these days, the live view allows you to see exactly what the exposure is, exactly what you see in the LCD screen is what you're going to get in the picture. So I highly recommend anyone, especially who's having trouble getting the exposure correct, if you're using an old camera and you find that your pictures are all overexposed or underexposed, having an LCD screen is going to help you a lot. And as I said, it's going to be what you see is what you get. So that's highly recommended. So you attach the camera here, and as opposed to the EOS RP, there's a shutter curtain, so it actually covers the sensor when it's not used. So one of the problems with the Sony bodies that I've had is that they're a dust magnet. You don't normally notice it when you're shooting wide open, when you're doing portraits and stuff, but as soon as you're doing something with where you're stopped down, so apertures of 8, whatever, and this happens when you're at the receptions, when you're taking pictures of groups, and you can see the dust, the sensor dust spots on the walls. And although it's no big deal, it does mean another 20 seconds in Lightroom removing the dust spots, and it can be kind of annoying when you have to do it to tens if not hundreds of photos. So this is going to be a plus. It's going to reduce the chances of it getting dust on the sensor, and that's always going to be a plus. So that's one of the things I thought about that. At the bottom of the camera is your usual tripod mount. There's the compartment which holds both the battery and the memory card. Goes somewhere in there. I haven't figured out where that goes. No, the battery, this is actually different to the RP. With the RP, apparently the battery and the memory card go in the same slot, but only the battery goes in here and the memory card goes in there. So what that means is when your camera is mounted on a tripod, you're going to be able to get access to the memory card without having to remove the camera, which is awesome. There is the usual hot shoe for the flash. I don't think this camera has an actual built-in pop-up flash, and neither does the EOS RP, and that's not an issue for me because I've never used a pop-up flash in the camera, and it's just a waste of space. I'm very happy for there not to be a pop-up flash. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go grab a lens. I'm going to set up some stuff and continue with this video. So I've now got my 16-35 2.8 L lens as Mark II. One of the things, as you've probably read if you've researched this EOS R mirrorless system, is currently neither of the bodies come with IBIS, which is the inbuilt image stabilization. And if there's any issues about that, you're going to have to rely on lens image stabilization. The big lenses have it, the wider angle ones tend not to have it. This is not going to be an issue with stills photography because you're going to have the shutter speeds at a thing where you're not going to get camera shake anyway. The question is whether this is going to be an issue with video, and I guess I'll find it out in due course. But yeah, so this is my 16-35. I'm going to attach that to the EOS lens adapter. Satisfying click. I'm going to remove this bit. I'm going to remove the cap, and then I'm going to attach the whole thing to the EOS body. Now the first thing you'll notice is that it's a pretty big thing. It's no bigger than any other camera I've used, so I don't think that's going to be an issue for me. It feels pretty good. I don't think it's going to be an issue holding it one-handed, as I sometimes tend to shoot like that. In terms of sitting, it does sit quite well with the 16-35. It's not like it's rocking around because the lens is too big. It's got that 16-35 lens hood on it. So that so far appears to be not an issue. Some people have written that it is an issue, but I've seen some videos, especially with the EOS RP, where this has been an issue. Now I'm going to take out the battery. As I said, hopefully it's the same ones as the 5D Mark III, because I've got heaps of those. And then I'm going to put the battery into the camera. Yeah, I think it is. And it's the same slot. You just stick it in there. You hear it click. And he's in. So when I turn that on, everything should power up. And it doesn't. Just going to check it. Maybe there's no battery in this one. Sometimes when you get these batteries, they're completely dead. I'm just going to grab another battery, and it looks like that's going to be the case, that I'm going to have to get another battery before I can continue with this video. Aha! So we got a battery in there, and the thing is actually turning on. So it's going to firstly ask us to set the time and date and stuff, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. And basically once we set this up, the camera's ready to go. That's the end of this current video. I hope you guys enjoyed the unboxing. It's just going to be a little bit of time that I'm going to get used to this camera. I'm going to start taking some pictures, going to charge it, set it up, and then I'll come back and report to you in a future video as to what I think. There's going to be some things I've got to get used to, some things aren't going to be as good as the Sony, some things I hope will be better than the Sony's, but hopefully it's going to form part of my photographic arsenal, which is going to make me enjoy my photography more. It's going to help me with my YouTube content and other videos I might make, because I'm certainly thinking about doing some behind the scenes videos when we go on photo shoots, and it'll be also good for doing video when we're on holidays and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to being able to use this camera, giving it a try, and hopefully letting you guys know how good or how bad it is, and give you a list of sort of things that you need to watch out for and consider if you're thinking of purchasing this camera. So until then, I hope you guys have a great day. Once again, subscribe to my channel. You're going to really love my content, so I'm pretty sure that you'll be happy with the stuff that I make. So subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and I'll catch you next time with more videos. See you later.